LSU Odyssey, talking this epic recruiting weekend for Brian Kelly and his new staff. This is that first major recruiting weekend of the 2023 class, and I should say 2024 class as well. Although, mostly focusing on 2023. There are some 2024s in there, and even a 2025 young man in there as well. And so what we're looking at LSU really wanting to hit the ground running with these classes and really delivering a lot of offers, trying to get a lot of different kids through the door. Check out LSU and what the program has to offer them. And then, word is going to start spreading. I believe that's what this is also the strategy. Word is going to start to spread about what Brian Kelly and what his staff have got going there. And I think they will also be genuinely surprised at the organization of the new regime there. This is big time for Brian Kelly, because this is something he has always wanted to be able to do. This is something he's always had a piece of a program. He's always had, Notre Dame had the great tradition. They had the name. They didn't have the power conference. They didn't have, the lax academic standards that could attract top players who aren't going to, who want to go to the NFL. They don't want to be sitting there being destroyed by rigid academic courses nonstop. It's already tough to stay on the team with the grade levels and all that stuff. And, all the homework, all the practices, all the time that they're spending doing all this stuff. So, not having those restrictions. But then, not having the resources or the big program name at Cincinnati, Grand Valley State, not being able to recruit at recruit top players at a lot of those schools, missing out on a lot of top players. Brian Kelly has watched how many guys on the top of his list, just never make it through the door at Notre Dame, Cincinnati. The list is humongous. And the list even includes some of the guys he's coaching currently at LSU or trying to pull to LSU, or recently did. And so, at LSU, he's got the full package here. He's got the resources. He's got the backing. He's got the support. He's got the big name, the big conference, the biggest conference in college football, still the most dominant, unquestionably. And I understand this is his debut, but this is the way he's going to recruit with this team. This is the way he's going to coach with this team. It's a lot of hunger, a lot of desire, a lot of intensity, a lot of passion. And it seems like this is a very large organization, especially on the recruiting side of things, that stretches out. You're seeing, tweets from guys like Corey Phillips. Coach Corey Phillips, who just came on the staff, very, very talented. And he's another strong recruiter on this team. You saw, what was his name? Barnum? I'm trying to think of how to pronounce his name correctly. Barnham? Bobby Barnham. That's another big-time piece on the recruiting staff. You've got so many, Destiny Wilson as well. And then Frank Wilson. And then you even have Brian Kelly's daughter on this staff. This staff is completely chock full of talent, top to bottom. People who have been through the recruiting ringer, been through the recruiting battlefields. They understand what it takes. But now you're seeing a lot of these people, very talented coaches, very talented analysts, very talented support staffers, who are now going to be given the tools that they always wanted, always desired, but maybe in their prior stops just weren't possible. The budget just wasn't there. There were certain limitations. Or maybe, quite literally, some of these coaches and staff had never been in that position where this person doesn't understand. Been in the position where they actually have the leadership, the power to call the shots. So you've got quite a cross-section of staffers coming into this recruiting weekend with all this talent coming onto campus. What is the new LSU? What are you going to show us? Well, already there's success. Already there's success to start this weekend off. Trey Holly, as he told LSUODYSSEY.COM, aka me, told me in a conversation, I asked him, how excited are you, my man, for your visit tomorrow? Scale of 1 to 10. My man said 11. He is pumped up by Frank Wilson. And then, they're not just going after the top big-time players. Dante Moore, the big-time top, I think he's the number 3 quarterback rated of the 2023 class out of Martin Luther King in Detroit. Very talented young man. They're not just going after all these 4 and 5 stars. They're also going after underrated young men who deserve a spot. They've done their homework. They've watched the film. They've actually talked to the coaches, talked to the players. Even without being here, like the previous staff, they actually watched their film, did their background, everything, and they found that, of course, Arnold Duda Barnes out of Booker T, Washington, deserves a visit to LSU. I love that he's getting this opportunity. And, seems like a lot of LSU fans also love that he's getting this opportunity too. Very popular among the fan base. Very popular. And there's a lot of interesting players coming on campus this weekend. Derek Williams, Jordan Matthews. These two could be pillars of LSU's secondary for the 2023 class. We will see what happens with those guys. There's so much depth to the 2023 class that I think is just barely really even being discovered. Like, just new names are popping up every day of, this is the new recruit to watch. Samuel Mpemba was like that big hot recruit to watch. David Hicks was that big hot recruit to watch. Arch Manning. But now, you're seeing Dante Moore, quarterback. He's becoming a hot young recruit to watch. Where is this quarterback going to go? Coming out of Michigan. There's a lot of intriguing storylines with this recruiting class. There's so much to love. There's so much to analyze. There's so much to check out. It's really been quite an undertaking doing these recruiting pieces because I want to deliver the best content, not just some half-assed little blip. I want to give you as much information, numbers, intel, anything I can get, anything I can reasonably get permission to put out for my subscribers. I will, damn it. And thank you for subscribing with us. This weekend is going to be interesting. And we're going to be following a lot of it. Check out LSUODYSSEY.com throughout the weekend. There's going to be a variety of posts for all the random craziness that's going to be going down March 4th, 5th, and the 6th. I mean, it's already hopping right now, but Saturday, tomorrow, March 5th, that's going to be a day of infamy for LSU's 2023 class. This is where so much of the work begins. This is where so much of the battle starts. And, I think LSU have a great chance with so many of these young men because I think they're going to love what LSU has to offer. Yeah, sure, there's some kids that have chosen to go elsewhere for these, dead period ending visits. Right when the dead period ends, everyone makes a big deal of where some of these kids are going, where they choose to go first. I think, that's all well and good, but at the same time, don't worry too much about some of the young men who aren't there yet because there's a lot more recruiting to be done. This is just the start. And there's also a big camp on June 1st that is going to see a lot of big-time recruits from the 2023 and 2024 classes coming onto campus. So you're going to see a lot of recruiting over the next few months. A lot of recruiting content coming to LSUODYSSEY.com like you always see. So much from the 2021 and 2022 classes. And 2023, 2024, 2025, they will be no different for our site. Thank you. Let's go. Happy Friday, everybody. Go Tigers.